Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the reclamation, the space where you get to rise, remember, and reclaim the pieces of yourself you were told to hide. I'm Paula Collins, your Magdalene priestess and spirituality mentor and intuitive sound healer. Today's episode is a deeply personal one that comes from the marrow of my own lived experience. And maybe, just maybe, it echoes yours too. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is people pleasing. I'm sure many of you have heard the term, she's a people pleaser, he's a people pleaser, right? It's pretty common terminology. But people pleasing is about abandoning ourselves, shrinking ourselves, shape-shifting to become something else, and silencing ourselves just to be loved, just to belong, and just to feel safe. Is this you? Or has it ever been you? I want you to know this. First of all, you are not broken. I'm going to say that again. You are not broken. You learned to please others because it kept you alive. It made you feel safe. It made you feel as if you were contributing something. It helped you to feel like you fit in. It helped you to feel as if you would still be loved because you were doing A, B, C, or D. But now you're here and you're ready to live in truth, not in performance. And there is a big distinction between living in your truth and living in performance. Okay? Living in our truth is what is true for us according to the values and the belief systems that we have incorporated for ourselves. Living in performance is essentially you wear masks, you're an actor or an actress, right? You do what you need to do and be who you need to be. And you're not going to be there anymore. You're going to make a promise to yourself that you're not going to be there anymore. So let's start with our body. I want you to start by taking a deep breath in through your nose and then exhaling slowly through your mouth. Let yourself soften into your skin. Feel your feet, your belly, your shoulders, all the way up to the top of your head. Because you're safe to be here right now. So what is the cost of being a people pleaser? Well, first of all, I want you to know that people pleasing is a trauma response in disguise. Okay, it's a trauma response in disguise. We become really great, very proficient at learning to read the room, anticipate the needs of others, dim our light when it is absolutely necessary, all in exchange for the scraps of approval or false peace, right? We settle for the scraps of approval when we are people pleasing because that's all we feel we are worthy of. Or for some sense of false peace because we're afraid to speak our truth or do something that goes against what everybody else is doing because we don't like confrontation, we don't like fighting, we don't like arguing. So we settle for this false sense of peace. But every time we say yes when we really mean no, Every time we betray our own needs to be liked, to be loved or accepted, we abandon ourselves. Think about that. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you betray your own needs so that somebody will like you, love you, or accept you, you are abandoning yourself. And you know what? That abandonment lives in our bodies because they say our bodies keep the score, right? So we have a tight jaw, we have shallow breathing, our chest feels heavy. We're in a tense feeling all the time. We might feel nauseous. We might be tired all the time, right? Because holding all of that inside of us is exhausting, right? And people pleasing also lives in our thoughts, thinking, will they still love me if I say my truth? Will they still accept me if my ideas are different than theirs? Will they still be around if I say no? Right? And people pleasing lives in our energy. We feel scattered, we feel drained, we feel disempowered. And this is because we are constantly trying to remember a different narrative, a narrative that is so different than what we think, feel, right? And so we are drained. And every time we say yes when we really mean no, we give our power away. So it disempowers us. And we're scattered. We're so tired, we just don't know which way to turn, right? But here is the truth. And I want you to listen to this. I want you to tune in right now. Here's the truth, beloved. You are not here to perform. You are not here to please. You are here to be whole, to be honest, and to be you. So when we stop the performance, when we stop the pleasing, we get to be whole, honest, and our true self. How does that sit for you right now? Is it something that you so desperately want, but you're afraid to change? Because believe me, I have been there. I know what it's like to be the yes girl. I know what it's like to hold my tongue and not give my opinions. I know what it's like to try to blend in, to remain on the periphery, to not want confrontation, to not want to argue. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels to keep my values and my beliefs to myself so that other people will still love me and want me around. I lived most of my life that way. And you know what? It is so freaking hard to do that. It is exhausting. I know the toll that it takes on you. I know the depression and the anxiety that you live with. I know the disbelief. I know the imposter syndrome. I know what all of that feels like because I lived it. It was me. I didn't speak up, even in little things. Something little. I didn't speak up because I was afraid that people wouldn't love me, accept me, or want me around, that they would forget about me. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Even with the person I should have been able to be completely honest with, my husband, I wasn't. Because I was afraid that if I spoke up and I was somehow different than the person he married, that he would leave me. Now, let me tell you, far from the truth, because I did stop it, but that's a story for a little bit later. So what do we need to do? Well, first we need to reclaim our authentic voice, because reclaiming your power starts with reclaiming your voice. And it means a couple of things. It means you have to be really clear on what you want. You may not even know what it is that you want because you're so busy trying to make sure that everybody else has what they want, that you've abandoned that part. You've abandoned your own wants, your own needs, your own dreams, and your desires. We have to be clear on what our body is saying to us. Somebody asks you to do something, and you know with every fiber of your being that you should be saying no, but you say yes, and you feel icky doing that, saying yes. But you feel guilty if you say no. And we have to see where all of this sits in our body, because our body does keep the score. And if we are having issues within our body with tension, with, tightness in our jaw, tightness in our shoulders, pits in our stomach, in our gut, maybe even digestive issues, right? This may be because you have lost your power. You have not reclaimed your voice because you don't know what you want. You don't know who you are. You don't know how to voice it, right? And then we have to get clear on, where am I still making myself small? Where do I shrink to fit in? I have an incredible oracle card that says, don't dim to fit in. Stop dimming your light to be accepted by other people. You are doing yourself the biggest disservice. And I can say this because I was that person. I dimmed my light. I didn't tell people about my intuitive gifts, about being a Reiki master, about my beliefs that differed outside of the ones that I grew up with. And I did it out of fear. Fear is the biggest paralyzer you will ever encounter. And when we make ourselves small, fear wins. It wins every single time. Right? And we don't want it to win. We want to tell the fear, you know what, it's okay if I speak my voice, if I speak my authentic truth, if I use my authentic voice. It's okay if I have an opinion. It's okay if that opinion or that belief is different than everybody else's. I am still important. I am still valuable. I still matter. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? And believe me, the first time you speak your truth, you might tremble. You might sound unsure. And you know what? That is okay. Because in order to strengthen a muscle when you're working out, you have to keep going at it, right? You have to keep working out. You have to keep those repetitions, and then you have to build and make it heavier, right? It's the same thing with speaking your truth. It's a muscle that we have to work out. We have to get used to hearing ourselves say it. Maybe we need to look in a mirror and just say our truth to ourselves. And do that first. Speak your truth to yourself. Look in the mirror. Look into your beautiful eyes, the window to your soul. And speak your truth. And keep doing it every day and every day and every day and every day. And then somebody that you trust, that you're close to, speak your truth to them. And before you know it, it'll be easier to speak your truth, right? Because power doesn't have to be loud. It can be soft, right? Don't confuse what you see and hear in the media, especially these days, with power, because power doesn't have to be loud. It can be soft and gentle and compassionate and loving. It really can. Power is clear. It knows exactly what it wants, and it's not afraid to speak it. And power is honest, right? When you are reclaiming your power, you need to be honest with who you are and who you are not. And you need to push away who you are not, so that you can reclaim the fullness and the honesty and the authenticity of who you are. Because your truth, no matter how soft, deserves to take up space. Your truth, no matter how soft, deserves to take up space. So guess what? You get to rewrite your story. It's like you pick up a book, you open to a fresh page, there's nothing there, and you start to rewrite the story, right? I want you to know you don't have to earn your worthiness. Worthiness does not need to be earned. It is your right because you are alive and breathing. I am giving you permission to say, I am worthy, and I am claiming my worthiness. I give you permission to do that. If nobody has ever given you the permission, hear me say it. I give you permission to say, I am worthy, right? And listen to this also. You don't have to be nice or overgiving or stay silent anymore, right? You don't have to play the good girl all the time. You don't have to give until there's nothing left for you, right? Your worth is inherent. It is in your breath. It is in your being. If you just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in and release it, that is your worth. Can you feel that? Do it again. Take a deep breath in. Feel that air fill you up. That is your worth. And as you exhale, that is your worth surrounding you. It is in every cell and fiber of your being. And it has never been up for negotiation. Ever. It has never been up for negotiation. My beautiful, beautiful soul friends, this is your reclamation. This is how you reclaim your power. By believing in your worth, believing that you are lovable and that you have to do nothing to claim that, and embodying it and practicing that embodiment every day. So today, I bless the version of you that needed to please. She was so brave. She was so wise. And I also want to honor the version of you that is ready now to choose herself, to speak, to rise, to return to the truth that you were always worthy, and you still are. You still are and always will be. We bless both versions. Because when we let go of that piece of us that was a people pleaser, we let go of that muscle of people pleasing, but we keep with us all the wisdom and lessons that we have gained from every experience that we have had. And we bless that version. That version of you still deserves love, still deserves compassion. She doesn't disappear, but she does transform. She becomes courageous and she steps up and she says, this is me now. This is who I choose to be. This is the version of me that I am doing. I am claiming it for me right now. And I hope that you will claim it for you right now. I really do. It's that important. Thank you for tuning in with me today and listening. If any part of this spoke to you, if any part of this struck a chord, please leave a comment, like this, rate it, send it to a friend, share it with a friend who needs to hear this message. It's so incredibly important. We need to be there walking hand in hand with those closest to us that need to also rise up and remember. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned because, of course, there'll be another episode that comes up that I cannot wait to share with you. And if you want to get in touch with me because you would like to know more, all of my information will be in the show notes for you. I want you to have that. I want you to have that. And I'm also going to put some journaling prompts in there for you as well. A place to start so you can move forward and transform. So much love for all of you today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.